Hello Guardians, I am Captain Brick. So in this video I'm gonna share with you how you can complete Nightfall Strike with relative ease if you've been struggling with it. You're not gonna have much time left when this video hits the interwebs, but this tactic will be actually applicable whenever the Prism Modifier is active. Alright, so let's go. So there are actually two parts to this tactic. First part involves the weapons and the second the subclasses and supers. The weapon part is kind of a little bit more confusing, so let's go ahead and start with that. Alright, so the description of the Prism Modifier is following. Your attacks matching the focused element deal increased damage. All other elemental damage is reduced, kinetic and incoming damage is unaffected. The focused element rotates periodically. Alright, so the idea behind this tactic is that your fire team needs to be using the focused element as much as possible. And to achieve that, you need to arrange your fire team weapons in a certain way. In the end result, for any type of the focused element, one team member is always able to fire the energy weapon and one team member is always able to fire the power weapon. So I understand that this is super confusing right now, but I'm gonna try to explain it a little bit better with an example. Alright, so now pay attention. Okay, so for example, me, player 1, I have a void weapon in my energy slot and a solar weapon in my power weapon slot. The next player has a solar weapon in his energy slot, which sort of connects back to my power slot, right? And in his power weapon slot, he has an arc weapon. The next player in his energy slot has an arc weapon, which in turn connects back to the second player's power slot, and in his power slot, he has a void weapon, which connects to the first player's energy weapon, right? So you can kind of imagine this like a triangle or prism of elemental damages. So, the solution is sort of in the name of the modifier, right? Alright, so when you have this all sorted out for any type of focused elemental damage, you should always have one player with a matching energy weapon and one player with matching power weapon. Now, as you start the strike, always call out what's the current focused element, because one or two fire team members gonna be in the battle and they're not gonna be paying attention, so it's really good when every team member calls out the current focused element. Now, if you hear a focused element that you have, you immediately switch to that weapon and use only that until your mag is empty. Then, and this is important, you switch to the kinetic weapon. And you do that because of two reasons. So let's say, for example, the focused element is void and your mag is empty or you don't have that elemental damage and you fire arc, your damage is going to be reduced. You're going to be dealing less damage than with a kinetic weapon. So that's part 1. And part 2 is actually Destiny 2 has sort of a permanent trickle modifier, which means if you're shooting energy weapon, the energy weapon ammo is not gonna drop for you. Alright, so quick recap. You hear the focused element, you switch to that weapon, fire as long as you can, switch back to kinetic. Quick side note, remember that you can change the elemental damage of your weapons with the weapon mod. So you don't have to use a weapon with less power, just change the modifier on the one you have and you're good. Alright, so that's weapons. Now let's move to part 2, subclasses. So the current Nightfall modifier, the second modifier, is Time Warp Killing Time, which reads as follows. Defeat enemies to extend the mission timer up to a limit. So basically killing enemies extends your mission timer. Naturally, you want to kill as many enemies as you can, as fast as you can. And for that, you need roaming supers, because they excel at exactly that. So what you actually do is all fire team members go ahead and switch to the arc subclass, because all of those have roaming supers. Now, don't just randomly use your super, wait until you see that arc focused element and then pop it. Same goes for grenades, don't waste them, wait for arc and then use them. For maximum effect, you could actually conserve your super up to the final boss battle, and then simultaneously all 3 fire team members pop their supers and melt the boss. Alright, so really hope this wasn't too confusing. If this video sucked, you know what to do. Otherwise, leave a like, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Goodbye.